I have never ever wanted to be married. I have never wanted children. I'm not a relationship person. I cannot wait to die alone, and I date younger men casually and recreationally for sex.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rebecca, and today I am going to be speaking about feminism, as you guys probably read by the title of the video. But there's a little bit of a twist. I actually know the person in this video. Now, this woman, Cindy Gallop, is 61 years old. She is highly revered in the feminism space, in the entrepreneurial space, and in the tech scene in New York City. She speaks to a lot of women, she mentors a lot of women, and she speaks at conferences. Literally, this woman is everywhere in the entrepreneurial and tech space in New York City. And I even have friends that have her as a mentor for their company. But I wanted to give you guys an idea of the rhetoric and the type of women that I revered and looked up to when I was a feminist. So you guys understand the amount of information and the type of information I was receiving from these women. So before we jump in, please give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and let's jump into it.
Can you talk about assumptions that people make about you based on your appearance?
If you look at me, I guess you'd think, there's somebody who wants to be seen, wants to be noticed, wants to be visible, and you'd be absolutely correct. I have never ever wanted to be married. I have never wanted children. I'm not a relationship person. I cannot wait to die alone, and I date younger men casually and recreationally for sex. I still occasionally get one of two responses to the fact that I'm not married and I don't have kids. One response is, oh, the poor dear thing. She never found anybody who wanted to marry her. Then the second response is, oh my God, a woman who doesn't want kids. How unnatural, a freak of nature. I would just love so many more people to take a long, hard look at themselves and go, what would really make me happy? Let me strip out of my mindset around these things everything my parents are saying to me, everything my friends are all doing at the same time, everything that society and popular culture tells me I should want. What do I really want? What would really make me happy?
I am telling you, this is the type of woman that is mentoring, that is helping women in these big cities, okay? Women look up to her and revere her for her ideologies, for her stance, for her appearance, for her not give an F mentality and her boss babe mentality. This is a persona that she puts on. She wants to be seen as this type of woman. And women sop this up left, right, center. They live for this stuff. They want and aspire to be Cindy Gallop. I, at one point, looked up to Cindy Gallop and wanted to be her. I loved her mentality. I thought that she was so cool, that she was experienced, and that she knew all of these things. I don't believe her when she says that society says that you have to follow societal norms, because the norms have changed. Now the norm is don't get married, don't have kids, focus on your career and be a boss babe. You literally succeeded. You won. The rhetoric that you're spewing out to other women has taken over. Now women have pushed off marriage, children, and not even looking for that type of commitment because of women like Cindy and other women out there who say the same thing. She wants to be known for being contentious. And I really want you guys to understand this is what women are listening to. This is exactly who women are looking up to in these big cities, especially if they're trying to climb the corporate ladder, especially if they're trying to start their own businesses, especially if they're going to women's conferences. This type of woman is the woman that other women look up to. So we'll continue to see what she has to say, but This is just a little taste for you guys.
I'm regularly asked, how do you get to be this confident? And the answer is 61 years of life. Absolutely, when I was younger, I cared about what people thought. I thought I should conform to certain things. And it's just been a gradual realization over the years I've lived that fuck that shit.
Why didn't you want to get married?
And when did you know that?
I've had two, relatively long-term relationships in my life. One when I was in my early 40s for 2.5 years. When I ended it, I went, never want to do that again. There was imbalance in our different life stages and our different incomes. I'm just happier, living my life the way I want to, as opposed to having to factor in a whole bunch of considerations around how somebody else's life is going. I am so happy that every boyfriend I ever had at Oxford dumped me. Okay, hallelujah, because I thought I was in love. And had they asked me to marry them, I would have happily done so, and I would have knowingly and willingly ruined my life. Women are sold the concept of love as self-sacrifice. Yeah, but it's going to be hard, but if you love him enough, you'll make it through. And by the way, I'm speaking heteronormatively deliberately, because this is where we are all sold a bill of goods when it comes to love. It's not true that sex sells. It is absolutely true that love sells. When I was a kid, that was my assumption. One day I would have children, because it's what you do. My mother is Chinese. Obviously, separate to the fact that that's what women are expected to do, especially in Asia, marriage and kids is what it's all about. I regularly give thanks to the Lord I never had children. And by the way, I adore children. I have, 3 nieces, 3 nephews, 4 goddaughters, a godson. I adore them all. I love spending time with them. I love babies. I love hanging out with kids.
All right. Let's dissect some of the things that she said here. So, the reason why Cindy and a lot of these women end up single is because they are competing with their partners. They want to be on top. They want to be the dominant person in their relationship. And obviously, you can't have 2 dominant people in a relationship. They're going to constantly butt heads, they're going to constantly fight. And that is simply the case. If you have a contentious woman, if you have a woman who is constantly just trying to bring things up, it is very difficult to be in a relationship with that type of woman. But the thing is that she is praised for this by other women for being this way. And obviously the result would be not getting married and not having kids, right? And she said that she prioritized her happiness over the sacrifices that she would be making in a marriage or in a relationship. Sacrifice happens on both sides. It is not one-sided. What she's saying is that only women make the sacrifices and men are not capable of making sacrifices at all. And that's simply not true. Men make sacrifices for their relationships all the time. And so this idea and this notion that only women sacrifice in relationships is absolutely incorrect. They want you to feed into the victimhood mentality. I am a victim. I'm the only one that sacrifices. Women are the only ones that give in a relationship, which is absolutely not accurate whatsoever and not based on any truth. And she even goes on to say that she loves children. She loves to be around children. She has nieces and nephews and godchildren and all this other stuff, but herself, she decided that it wasn't her path. To me, this just seems like a woman who missed that opportunity because she got in her own way. And for her, happiness is having sex with multiple men and being a boss babe. So this is what I tell people: you reap what you sow. We're going to continue to listen to this a little bit more, but I'm telling you guys, this is exactly the type of woman that is teaching other women to be. Like, this is the reality of the situation.
What would you say has been your biggest struggle?
My biggest struggle in life has been keeping Make Love Not Porn going, because every single piece of business infrastructure any other tech startup gets to take for granted, we can't. The small print always says no adult content. I can't get funded. I can't get banked. We cannot advertise Make Love Not Porn on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Reddit. It's not just Make Love Not Porn. Any female lens sexual health and wellness cannot advertise. Menstruation ventures can't advertise on Facebook and Instagram. Menopause ventures can't. Fertility ventures can't. In the meantime, male sexual health and wellness ventures, erectile dysfunction solutions, come on in, everywhere. It's out bloody rageous.
So, to speak on that and the exposure that female founders get to advertising, that is absolutely not true. I have met the founders of many companies, female menstruation companies, female sex companies, all of these other things. And yes, they do advertise. Look at Sustain. They sell lubricants online to women. It's primarily to women. Modern Fertility is another company that sells fertility kits for women. So that is not necessarily true. She wants you to believe that all women and all of these female founders are struggling to get funding, to get VC backed money, to get advertising dollars, to get all of these things, which is simply not true. It's just that she hasn't been able to get venture backed money. She hasn't been able to secure financing or anything like that for her company. And honestly, I believe it's because she is hard to work with. If you cannot work with men who primarily run the VCs, who primarily are the bankers, who are the people that manage the money, then how are you going to get financing? How are you going to get VC backed money for your company? It's women and other people who can work with these types of companies, these VCs, these bankers, these financiers that get funding. They don't want to work with someone who is contentious. They don't want to work with someone who's combative. They don't want to work with someone who is hard to work with. And honestly, that is the reason why I think that she's never gotten funding, but she'll make you believe and she'll make other women believe the reason why you're not going to get funding for your startup, the reason why you're not going to be seen and heard the same way as men is because of the patriarchy. And it has nothing to do with the fact that you're a difficult person to work with. And businesses are built on relationships, are built on trust. Literally the same thing as a personal relationship or a romantic relationship. It needs to be built on these principles. And if you are a difficult person to work with or be with or converse with, it's going to be hard for you to secure that financing. She thinks that she is better than other people. She thinks that she is above reproach, and it's obviously worked against her. So we'll continue, but I'm going to end this video soon because you guys understand the type of woman that this woman is.
I've been depressed about Make Love Not Porn for so long that it's a natural state of being. I regularly have that 3 a.m. dark night of the soul. I've absolutely had those moments when I don't want to get out of bed. I've had those moments of low productivity. And what I do in that situation is I acknowledge that I am feeling really depressed about my circumstances right now. I'm not going to be able to be productive, so I'm going to forgive myself for that. And I'm not going to worry about it. And then I'm going to pick things up when I'm feeling, in a better mood.
This is what's hard for women to understand about business and about running a company, about being the CEO, about being the boss babe. You cannot rely on your feelings. The market doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't. And this is the problem that I see with a lot of female founders. This is the problem that I see with a lot of women CEOs is that they will go into a deep depression. They will go into their holes. They will feel a certain way. And when they feel better, they will then return to their project, to the thing that they're working on, whatever it may be. But business is not run on a feeling. She will tell women that the reason why you are not getting funding, the reason why you're not making as much money as a man is because of the patriarchy. Absolutely not. It is because men don't let their feelings necessarily get involved in business. At the end of the day, they get their work done before they let their feelings get involved. And if they do get their feelings involved in the situation, they learn from it and don't do it again, because when feelings are involved in business, bad things happen. Everything is on the line at that point. Money, productivity, other people's salaries, all of that stuff. This is why I think that women have a hard time being the CEO boss babe, to run their own companies, to do all this stuff, if they don't have male partners or they don't have someone there that can provide a logical answer or logical responses or logical solutions to things. So I'm going to end this video here because she's going to take off her clothes for this video, and I want to spare your eyes for that. But if you do want to check out the full video, it will be linked down in the description below. But that is my video for today, guys. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. I cannot wait to see what you guys have to say about this video. So please leave it down in the comments below. Give this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.